Hello, Cinema Peeps.
Hey, Cinema Peeps.
Oh, boy. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. I feel like we just talked to you guys, but that was because we just recorded a bonus podcast episode, which will be coming out next month in July, because we're planning to take a bit of a vacation. Not that we're traveling anywhere.
Right? We're just going to be traveling in our minds, basically.
Yes. But we figured we'd give ourselves a bit of a break, so enjoy the summer. Do some stuff. Now that, we can maybe do a little bit more than we were able to before.
Right? Maybe. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, yep.
Oh, but did you end up watching Raya the Last Dragon?
I did. I ended up having to break it up into 2 parts, though, because I started watching it really late at night and started getting tired, so I was like, okay, I gotta pause it, and then I'll come back later. So I finished watching it while I was waiting for my work to finish exporting, and
nice.
So I was able to finish it.
Boom, we got something to talk about.
Right?
Nailed it.
Heck yeah.
What was my thought? Before we go into that, it's funny you say you watch it in 2 parts, because a couple different, movie-focused podcasts I listen to, they talk about how they watch movies and take breaks, and I'm like, how? Why? I'm very used to just sitting and, I'm focused on the film.
Right? See, I can't do that unless it's for the case of why I did it this time, was because I was literally falling asleep through it, and I was like, I don't want to miss anything, so I'll stop it, and then I'll resume later, but most of the time I can't. I'm not even the type of person who can be on my phone and watch a movie at the same time. There's the odd show that you've seen enough times that you can have it on in the background and still be doing other things, but I love watching stuff in case I miss something before or whatever. If I'm watching friends or watching shows and movies with my friends, they'll all be on their phones and watching, and I'm like, how are you able to enjoy it? You're not even looking.
Well, I have to send the Instagram snap to show that I'm doing something interesting, so...
Yeah, because if you don't post it, it didn't happen.
Right? Heck yeah. But anyways, alright. Raya, the Last Dragon. What did you think of it? What were your feelings?
You know what? It was cute, but, I don't know. Excuse me while I eat a pear.
This knife.
It was cute. It wasn't anything special to me. I wasn't like, wow, this is amazing. But it was cute. I like Sisu. That was obviously Aquafina, I'm guessing. That was her voice.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yep, she was funny.
Mm-hmm.
The baby was funny. But, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I have to tend to agree. I thought it was really cute. I thought the voice acting was top notch. Thought those guys fucking killed it. Mm-hmm. Also, the animation, sometimes when there was just the dragon's hair, I was like, hot damn, animations come so far. Look at that motherfucking hair.
Oh yeah, I definitely noticed that too when I was admiring Raya's braids. And just you can see just the detail and everything. I'm like, wow, I wish my hair looked like that. Fucking
Gorgeous. And then speaking, because I didn't realize this at the time we were talking at the one time during the podcast, right? I was like, oh, I thought they just did the voiceover work at home, but I guess they did majority of their production from home.
Oh, wow.
Because I guess when that COVID hit and they had to shut down, they were just finishing pre-production and they were moving into production.
Cool.
Which is insane. And I guess they had to have big old Skype meetings of 100 people to try to get their shit together. Yeah. It was cool to see how they were able to get together and do it.
That's neat, yeah.
I do have to say, though, in terms of the story, I'm glad it was Raya there, because I know if it was me, everyone would be dead. I would probably let the entire human race die.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, sorry. So for some context, if people have never seen it. So the whole idea is that... Oh, I'm probably going to blank on some details. So basically, there was the 5 tribes that are the parts of the dragon. Very cool. Mm-hmm. I think that's very cool. Mm-hmm. And basically, there is these monster creatures. I already forgot their names. And they turn people to stone if they touch people.
They're droons, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then during that time there were dragons, but then they all fought them off to save the people.
Yeah.
And then all of them supposedly died and one went into hiding, aka the last dragon, and they left this dragon gem. But of course, because people are evil, everyone's like, well, we want it for ourselves. So then the four nations were fighting amongst each other. Mm-hmm. And then Zoom, I can't remember, like 200 years later or something, the tribe that Raya's from, the Heart tribe, has the gem. And her dad's all like, we need to come together as one. And she's like, no! But then when they do invite everybody, guess what happens? They all backstab each other, breaking the gem. And then the druids come back to kill them. And then we do another jump for 5 years later, and Raya's trying to collect all the dragon gem parts with the help of her friends and the dragon, played by Aquafina, to save the world. Mm-hmm. And there's this whole big part, so spoilers, sorry, for the ending, where they're like, we have to trust this person from the Fang tribe. We can't trust her. And I'm like, yeah. I would be like, yep, 100% agree. Nope. And then there's this very beautiful, emotional part where Raya gives her the gem piece. I already forgot the other girl's name from the Fang tribe. And she's like, I trust you. Mari, yeah. She goes, I trust you. And then she gets turned to stone. And then all the other guys who, coincidentally, she finds friends from every different tribe.
Oh, so yeah.
Symbolically, they all are giving over their piece of the gem, dragon gem. And then they're all being sacrificed into stone to save the world. And I'd be like, yep, just give me all the gems, put them together. I don't need I'm never trusting you again. And yeah. So again, a very sweet message about trusting people, but like, I'm clearly a cynic, and I would be like, nope, you're all gonna die.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it was her and not me. They would have all been dead.
Well, in that regard, I like that part, because the lesson is coming together as a community, which I feel makes a lot of sense for what's going on in the world right now. I feel like everybody's very divided, so it's nice to, like, they're trying to kind of inspire that message of trusting one another again, coming together as a community to work together to save the world. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I can dig with that.
It's a beautiful message, but I'm too much of a cynic. I'm just like, nope, trust no one. But then, of course, it made me really relate to Raya, definitely after, like, the zoom forward, where she's talking about not being able to trust people and, like, all her little ways to, like, basically avoid people or avoid needing help from other people. I was like, yeah, I relate to that. Mm-hmm. So in that sense, is good. So I'm glad she had a change of heart. I will never.
Oh, come on.
I will never not trust. Although, what was my thought? My one critique of the film, actually I have two mini ones, but both of them are kind of joke critiques. So one is that at the beginning, as children, Raya and Mari are meeting for the first time, and they're like, wow, I'm such a dragon nerd. Can you? I'm like, oh, and she's like, oh yeah. And I just sat there the entire time. I was like, y'all, you're both worship dragons. Your tribes are named after parts of like, I don't know, saying you're a dragon nerd is just very odd to me. When your entire identity and tribe is all about dragons. Like, I don't know why. They were like, it's so weird and quirky. I'm like, no. You're just a bunch of weirdos. That's all. But then, of course, me and my family were arguing by the end of the film. Sorry, on to critique 2. Where, because there is, as you mentioned, there's this baby. With the monkeys and stuff. And so, because they're like, oh, there's a 5-year or 6-year time jump. Like, oh, how does that work? Because the baby doesn't age. And I was like, oh, yeah. But I realized it was happening for a span of 5 years, so... It is possible the baby's only been on its own for, like, a year, and then it lost its parents to the druids and stuff.
Yeah.
But I took it as because Raya had kind of aged 6 years, that the rest of these most of these characters would have aged, but...
Right.
Obviously not, like, you know what I mean? It was kind of stupid, but I got confused promptly, and then...
Yeah, like, it wasn't very clear, that's for sure.
Yeah. Other than that, very well done. I always was shouting, like, merchandise! Because those monkeys are adorable, and I looked up, you can get plushie forms of them.
Of course.
So I was like, hell yeah. Her little companion guy that she rides is also adorable.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh, they're probably going to turn him into a merchandise thing.
He is, yes. Literally the entire movie, I was like, merchandise! Any little animals? I was like, that better be a merchant item, because I'm going to buy it. But yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoyed it, and I think my family enjoyed it. I can't tell anymore. I think they did. It
was different for... well, I can't say it's different for a Disney film, but at least in the last couple of Disney films we've had in the past few years, it's been different. And I guess she's technically an addition to the Disney princesses, because she's a princess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got a new Disney princess in a way, and it was a nice, refreshing thing to watch, considering we haven't had much to really watch these days, right?
And there wasn't, like, a prince, you know?
Yeah, it wasn't like a predictable kind of story.
Right. Felt like a really real story.
Mm-hmm, yeah, it was different.
And again,
there was definitely a lot of, like, I don't know, not, like, intense themes in this one, but I found it more action-based and kind of not so Disney magical, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and lots of strong females, you know? And, like, having friends and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I think the voice cast fucking killed it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize even Sandra Oh was the evil... I mean, I say evil, but, you know. See, this is where the cynic part of me is. But the leader of the Fang tribe.
Is that who that was? I thought her voice sounded familiar.
I could not peg it, because she fucking killed it. So yeah, if you guys haven't watched it, I recommend checking it out. It's free on Disney+. There's also, if you scroll past, there are tabs under the extra, and they have a bunch of, like, bonus material. So if you're into... They do talk about how they made this movie during COVID, so if you're interested in that stuff, it's all there. I think it's kind of cool. Although, I think I've told you about 100 times. I already got you on Legend, so I'm happy for that. But I know the next one you need to watch, and it's only a season because they failed to continue it, was Limitless, and that's where
yes,
our girl Debbie went to next. Jennifer Carpenter.
Yep.
And I'm so sad they never made more seasons. Like, it was such a fun show.
Yeah.
It is, like, so the Limitless TV series is kind of loosely based on the Limitless movie with Bradley Cooper. And he's actually one of the executive producers on the TV show. And his character does show up a couple times.
Oh, neat.
But yeah, because I remember watching Limitless the first time, and I just did not care for the film.
Yeah.
I think, and maybe this is why I like the TV show a little bit better, was I don't think I cared for Bradley Cooper's character. To be fair, like, I haven't watched it in a hot minute. But I just remember, because at the end, he, sorry, this is all so confusing. So Limitless, the movie, is about this drug, and I cannot remember the name of it, but basically when you take it, it, like, unlocks the potentials in your brain or whatever, so then you're, like, 1,000,000 times smarter. And, you know, you do with that as you will, but unfortunately, the side effect of taking the drug is I think it kills you faster, and you get really, really sick. But, Bradley Cooper, I believe, plays a struggling writer, and I can't remember how he came across these drugs, but he started taking them, and he faces off with, Robert De Niro. So, like, a pretty big cast, and yet I just remember I didn't care for the movie. I think also, again, going back to Kaylee being a very cynical person, I just don't think I liked Bradley Cooper's character. I just thought he was a piece of shit. So I was hoping for him to fail at the end, but at the end of the movie, he succeeds. In fact, he does even better than before, which kind of upset me. So, yeah. And again, I haven't watched
his character, or was it just Bradley Cooper?
No, I don't hate Bradley Cooper.
Okay.
It was definitely his character. But like I said, it's been a hot minute, so, like, maybe I'm wrong. But I just remember thinking he didn't deserve it. Now, fast forward, because I'm trying to remember when that movie came out. I thought it was early. I was going to say 2018, just like the book, like just like this TV show Dexter, but I don't think so. But it was definitely like, no, it had to been like after.
Let me find out.
Thank you, Google. I'm going to say 2011? No.
Oh, you nailed it.
Yeah!
2011.
Yeah!
The TV series was 2015 to 2016, and the movie was 2011.
But yeah, and then they made the TV show series where, like, again, Bradley Cooper's an executive producer, and it's kind of based on him, but it's really centered around a different character about this other guy. Oh, fuck, what is his name? I'm blanking on his name. But I think overall, I think the show was just really creative. So that's why I also really enjoyed it. Deborah was in it, so I literally, when I saw her in the promos, I was like, I'm watching for you. Like,
Yeah.
No one else.
Because she really, at least that I know of, she really didn't do much else after Dexter.
Think so. But to be fair, just on IMDb, which means nothing.
Yeah.
But just to be fair, I don't, like, normally you, like, sometimes it's like, oh, because they do Broadway or something. So, yeah, I don't know if, maybe she had other projects she was focusing on that weren't,
Well, there was
IMDb
one...
related.
Yeah, I think there was one she did. I don't remember the name of it, but she was an inmate. I remember her being like, she was an inmate in jail, and there was either like there was like an interview process of something going on. Like that's all I remember from it. I never watched the show, but I remember seeing promos of her like in like a jailbird suit and everything. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought. No, she was on a different TV. She was on a TV show recently where she was in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's the one thing I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
But yeah. Or, maybe she took a break. Who knows?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I think she's really great. But yeah. The Limitless TV show, I highly recommend. I think the characters are great. I think it's a fun, creative show. I am mad it got shit canned after one season. But, what do my feelings matter, obviously?
Sometimes the best ones always do.
I know. That was what was it? Because I remember when everyone, like, I think the big one for that was Firefly.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when people were like, Firefly! I also was like, why do I want to watch, like, then, because I feel like I was going to be the same boat as everybody else. I'm like, why do I want to do that to myself?
Yeah.
And I mean, it is, like, an enjoyable TV series.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I think unlike other properties, it did kind of get a redemption. Kind of.
Kind of?
Where, like, it only aired for 13 episodes, but then I think a year or so later, they were able to kind of conclude it with a movie.
Yeah.
Called Serenity, which is very confusing. But...
Yep.
Yeah, and I remember watching the movie, and because, yeah, basically the movie kind of sums up what they were going for the rest of that season.
Yeah.
In a little more condensed form.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's awesome. I'm happy that the show was able to get that conclusion that it needed.
Yeah.
But, unfortunately, I don't think every show gets that opportunity.
No.
Excuse me. I know that, what's its nuts? There's always that petition for Community. 6 seasons in a movie.
Yeah, 6 seasons in a movie.
But, I mean, the 6 seasons happened, whether those last ones were good or not, but...
Yep.
No movie.
No, now it's just kind of become an inside joke.
Right? I was gonna say, like, almost like a dead meme. Like, at this point.
Yeah.
Even though there seems to be a lot of, like, reviving of old things as of late.
Right? And then nowadays, too, like, I feel like well, no. Let me get my point across before I go into too much overthinking.
You got this.
But, like, now, like, I feel like it's almost a good thing they didn't go through with more, because I feel like we can love and appreciate the series for what it is. Mm-hmm. And that it didn't try to maybe, like, not sell out, but, like, overstay its welcome, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, yeah, some, like, well, not some, a lot of stuff nowadays is like, let's reboot it, let's remake it, and it's, yeah, at some point there has to be a line that gets drawn.
Yeah. That was my thought. Yeah, because, again, speaking of Dexter, they're making a new season this fall. Or, sorry, they're currently making it, and it will be airing this fall. Nailed it. Yes, okay, I got this.
Yes.
What was the one I saw recently? Oh, I never watched it, but I guess Gossip Girl is also getting a revamp.
I think I heard that somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, I saw the promo for one of the YouTube videos that
Better look out, Kaylee. Pretty soon, Pretty Little Liars is probably going to get one.
Well, I'm definitely not watching it. And I mean, and sometimes that's nice. Like, I mean, again, like, I'm excited for Dexter. Having another season, I think is going to be awesome. Mm-hmm. I literally don't care if it's only an episode. I'll fucking watch it.
Right?
Like, I'm so pumped. But I think now we're, not treading the line, but I feel like then the problem with, like, rebooting and all this stuff, and I mean, maybe I'm saying this, Oh, fuck. What am I trying to say? Words are way too difficult.
We used to be really good at speaking at the beginning of this podcast.
I know, and now it's like my brain just can't function anymore.
Yeah, too many thoughts are coming out at once, and it's just like, bleh.
Right? It's just pew, pew, neurons. Right, so my point, and that's why I was getting confused. Like, it's nice to be able to, and again, some of these shows that, you know, get canceled early, sometimes will get the reboot, or even rebooting old classics. But then I feel like then that's all you're turning out, and that kind of...
Right?
It sucks the wheel of creativity. I say this, but I feel like even maybe growing up, I'm sure there were shows we watched that were probably remakes or reruns of other things. So it's not like this isn't a thing that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just more recently. That's what it feels like we're all about now.
Right?
Nostalgia and doing that, which is great. But then I feel like then we axe things that, and again, I'm going to bring up the point of the Limitless TV show. Then we're going to axe things and not give it a chance to, you know, stand on its own 2 feet and maybe be something really cool and unique.
Right? And I feel like, because I was having this conversation with somebody the other day, too. It's like the creativity well has run dry lately. So that's kind of all everybody's grasping at now is like, oh, well, let's reboot this. What if we did this? What if we, you know, took this and, like, did another spin on it and blah, blah, blah. And sometimes it works, like you said. Like, there's probably stuff that we grew up watching that are remakes from stuff years past, right? Mm-hmm. But, yeah, it's just, like, nowadays it's like, you don't go to the theater unless it's for a Marvel movie, you know? And so it kind of just ruins the theater experience for some people, I think, too, because, you know, you're like, oh, well, if we're not going to see a horror movie, if we're not going to see the Marvel movie, then what's the point, right?
Yeah, I would agree that, like, it just seems like we're doing remakes, reboots, and then taking a chance on things that are new.
Yeah.
But I also feel like maybe that's just maybe sometimes our mindsets. Like right now, like even though I say like, oh, I want something new, something fresh and creative, but sometimes I'm like, I only have so much time in the day, and do I want to waste it on something I don't know is going to be good?
Yeah.
Or am I going to see this reboot of a show from, you know, that I liked? So
yeah,
there is like all this stuff, but that's kind of just like the main stuff that's being shoved in our face. So if we want to find other things, we kind of have to go out there ourselves.
Yeah.
Kind of the same like on I mean, kind of a separate topic for a different day, but like, you know, YouTube, right? You watch one video, they just kind of feed you the same stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you want to like kind of expand, I don't want to say expand your mind, but you know, like find more interesting topics or other things, you kind of have to search for it yourself.
Yeah. Which
kind of sucks, but like I get it.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I get the idea, or I get the impression that there's like a formula to some of the stories they tell nowadays, like, or...
Do you know, I remember that from school, the 7 different stories they tell.
Right, the 7 different characters.
There's only 7.
Yeah,
that's
right?
it.
Yeah, I don't know, because it's just, you kind of watch some stuff, and it's like, for me, a lot of horror movies follow the exact same formula. Mm-hmm. And so there's the odd horror movie that stands out, like A Quiet Place. Happy Death Day was a really good one. Freaky was actually pretty good too, where they kind of like break the mold and kind of do their own thing. But there are a lot of horror movies out there who kind of follow the exact same curriculum, because it's like, oh, The Conjuring did so well, and this is what they did to like be as well as they did, so let's copy that formula and do the same thing. But then it becomes predictable. You know, the jump scares aren't as, like, satisfying or, like, thrilling. The story's kind of blah. It's just like, oh, we're just doing this to, you know, make it look cool and to have an excuse to use this scare right here, right? There's no longer, like, a cool story behind it.
That's true. But I feel like maybe now, and even the last couple of years, I feel people are better at sussing that out. Like, they realize that right away. They go, oh, And I mean, it does suck because then they spent their money on it. But then, you know, the idea is that if you're not putting your money, was it money where your mouth is or whatever? Like, they're only going to produce more of what they see consumers want to see.
Yeah.
If that word's hard, but you know, yeah.
But see, that's where I get sad, and it's like, okay, now it's no longer about like storytelling aspect of it all. It's more about the money making side of things. So we're not giving the storytellers a chance to actually tell good stories, different stories, true stories. We're just doing, oh, this is gonna sell. Who cares if it's shit? You know, like...
We could probably go down the rabbit hole of creativity versus money and the gobbling machine that we live in, but I think that'll do it for today's podcast.
Yeah, I think so. And you should see my window, out my window right now. It just got super gray and windy and sketchy, so a storm's rolling in for the third time today.
Gross.
Yeah, although I'll probably end up just camping out in front of my window and watching it because I like watching storms.
Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of the podcast. Let us know in those handy dandy comments down below. It'd also be pretty great if you liked the content to throw us a little like and subscribe so you can tune into when we do more episodes. Sometimes we do short films, and and we post those as well. So
yes,
little something for you. But till next week, watch all the content, and we'll see you next time.
Bye bye.
Monkey.
Monkey. And slay.